With the recent return of Dynasty Warriors to the mainstream, new life has been brought back to the series thanks to Dynasty Warriors Origins, which released back in January 2025 by Koei Tecmo and Omega Force Productions. The game has been met with positive feedback, and I'm still working my way through the story and finding out what I like and don't like about it. Origins has landed incredibly well, and I'm interested to see what Koei does to build off this engine in the future. Certainly a promising and refreshing sign for Dynasty Warriors fans who might be lamenting the release of the more recent Dynasty Warriors games prior to Origins, which is Dynasty Warriors 9 back in 2018, and its Empire's counterpart in 2021, for reasons that need their own video to explain. But today is more about the past. Many games carry moments and experiences that stick with us as gamers. I tend to think Dynasty Warriors 3 paved the way for Warriors games, considering it was one of Koei's $1 million releases on the PS2, according to the Dynasty Warriors wiki page. However, looking back at the game today, it seems to carry its own style compared to the Dynasty Warriors games that came after it on the PS2. It holds a special place in my gaming journey, and I want to highlight the chaotic beauty of its existence in this video. Whether it be the difficulty in certain aspects, its quirky humor, or its colorful aesthetics in general, it's not perfect by any stretch of the means, but it did a lot of things right and helped pioneer the sandbox style of battle hack and slash on the PS2. So without further ado, after successfully releasing Dynasty Warriors 2 as an exclusive PS2 launch title, Koei and Omega Force Productions further pursued the sandbox style of hack and slash battlefields that took the focus in Dynasty Warriors 2. A departure from the 2D fighting game found in its first release, which was Dynasty Warriors on the PS1, Dynasty Warriors 2 was the first of its kind in a way. The scope focused on more robust battlefields instead of a 1v1 challenge, opting for a 3D camera environment with multiple moving parts on screen. The PS2 certainly had the hot hand in the home console wars in the early 2000s. My brothers and I started off on the PS1 playing Jet Moto, Crash Bandicoot, and of course Madden. In the summers back then, I would go to work with my dad, and I remember him gifting us a PS2 to keep us busy in the back of his carpet shop. And one summer, my brother brought back Dynasty Warriors 3 from a family relative. And this is where my button mashing experience first began. As a young whippersnapper, I was hooked on the gameplay, testing out different movesets and characters, beating the Yellow Turban Rebellion mission on my own. Until this happened. Fast forward to today, and not much has changed when I play Dynasty Warriors 3 in terms of thrill. It's truly chaos feel, despite the rage of controller mashing, which I admittedly did as a kid, but it never really feels like I've yet to really master this game. Sure, I have techniques and tricks that keep me alive longer, or OP my items and play it safe, but it's a game that is completely unpredictable, even on normal and basic difficulties, especially picking up the game for the first time on a fresh save. It carries a unique style, unlike any Dynasty Warriors game I've played, even to this day. Of course, with so many Dynasty Warriors games and spin-offs in the series, fans vary on which era is the best for Dynasty Warriors, or generation carried the best releases, if you will. Some people love and adore the classics of the PS2 games, like Dynasty Warriors 2 through 5. Others really like Dynasty Warriors 6. Weird flex, but okay. Others prefer the more recent to modern Warriors games like Dynasty Warriors 7, 8, and Dynasty Warriors 9. And of course, the highly esteemed Dynasty Warriors Origins, which has made a solid landing so far with its release just 6 months removed at the making of this video. All of the fans' preferences are really cool to see. I mean, this gaming series has survived 25 years and certainly has had its ups and downs along the way. whether it be roster snubs for certain characters, combat, combo, weapon changes, cloned movesets, weapon swaps. Okay, moving on. It's without question both Dynasty Warriors 4 and 5 built off of Dynasty Warriors 3's formula and continue to innovate not only the combat, but the gameplay mechanics in general. When looking at the jump from Dynasty Warriors 2 to Dynasty Warriors 3, it's clear how enhanced the gameplay was overall. Dynasty Warriors 3 extended all movesets from the second game. It also added 12 playable characters, introduced weapon and item hunting, progressive leveling ranks, bodyguards, and leveled weapon selection, a giant leap from Dynasty Warriors 2, and great focal point to build off of for Dynasty Warriors 4. Despite a change in a lot of the aspects, while still keeping the same mechanics in some form or fashion. Despite these improvements to Dynasty Warriors 3 from 2, in order to experience the games entirely, you had to also have Dynasty Warriors 3 Extreme Legends, which came out 2 years later as a PS2 exclusive on a separate disc. A modern day expansion is the best way to explain it. Basically, once you booted up the Extreme Legends disc, you had to load the base game from the original disc. The joy of hot swapping certainly was a thing. It was cool in theory for, adding content until your PS2 disc tray jammed or got stuck. Not once, but twice in order to get the game fully booted with all of the content for its desired experience. The digital-only hive mind could not comprehend this catastrophe. Instead of trying to explain how the Extreme Legends disc adds to the gameplay, I went down the GameFAQs halls of ancient relics and found a user from 21 years ago who made a whole post on the differences between the two discs, like what base Dynasty Warriors 3 will give you, what just the Extreme Legends disc will give you, and of course the full package content swapping both discs. I'll leave the thread in the description for those interested in the differences. I don't know about you, but this feels like a page right out of what modern gaming is writing today. Slapping a pre-order bonus on it and a couple more pennies to the dollar, and that's your DLC. At least with the PS2 era, the disc had to ship complete. Patches and hotfixes weren't a thing because not all consoles were hooked up to the internet. Quality assurance mattered back in these days, but rant for another day. Gameplay wasn't the only thing chaotic about Dynasty Warriors 3. It was cutscenes. This game has so many meme-worthy bits, it's bursting at the seam. The English voice actors? Let's just say they don't make them like they used to.
You flaming idiot! Feel the power of my magic!
Play! Yes!
The placement and delivery of these cutscenes breathe new life into not only the characters, but the battles as well. Motives are proclaimed, boundaries are drawn. Eradicating entire family lines is necessary for benevolence.
Wipe out the whole Sun clan of Wu.
Charming stuff. Overall, the cheeky lines and anime-styled characters really landed for me, coming from 2, where there was no voice acting in most of the pre-rendered cutscenes. This coming after the series took on a different tone post Dynasty Warriors 3, which deterred from the anime style and colorful designs that we see in Dynasty Warriors. Removed the cheeky odd dialogue here and there, and Dynasty Warriors 4 and 5 seemed to deliver a little bit more of darker cell shades and just a tone overall. Maybe a subtle change to the mainstream, but a small letdown to yours truly. Dynasty Warriors 3's system to acquiring rare weapons gave players a sense of achievement through discovery. Although the experience was trial by fire, the grinding for weapons and items was brutal, yet rewarding. Getting yeeted off a horse because your officer rank isn't high enough was a punny way of saying, get good, loser. Tired of the butcher's volley from random enemy archers? You gotta endlessly grind for upgrades to your non-man armor. Do you desire raging fire on your foes? Unlock the true Muso item, granting rage Musos on every single special, which I personally do just for the animation bit when I play with Gan Ning. If that doesn't get you hyped to mowing the front lawn, then I don't know what will. The leaps Koei made from Dynasty Warriors 2 to 3 in the span of 1 year was and still is impressive by today's standards. They not only enhanced the gameplay entirely, but kept its core identity from that of Dynasty Warriors 2, adding some zesty voice acting and using a variety of item and weapon combos that opened up the gameplay that prioritized the combat over just a basic sandbox battle experience. Partner these gameplay upgrades with the brutality of the enemy AI, and you have a recipe for a solid hack and slash experience, further staking a claim as a early pioneer to the hack and slash genre. It's not beside me that Dynasty Warriors 3 has its shortcomings. Example being, Dynasty Warriors 2 implemented a mechanic to parrying unlike anything I've seen in a Warriors game. A well-timed block that sent the character into an automatic retaliation move, making it very useful to garner some breathing room in an intense skirmish. This was removed from Dynasty Warriors 3. Dynasty Warriors 3, however, did include the use of an L1 button as a balancing acrobatic move so that after being flung into the air by the enemies or bucked off a horse, the L1 button, pressed in mid-air, lands you back on your feet, being able to regain your balance to be able to pursue the enemy. As for pure chaos and contentious antics causing childhood trauma in this game, archers in difficulty are certainly the biggest to blame. Any and everyone who has played Dynasty Warriors 3 has probably experienced defeat at the hands of a stray arrow at some point in their journey. The annoyance for me stems from the damage you take from these arrows. You just survived the grind of a well-fought skirmish. The enemy officer has fallen to your spear. You're deep behind enemy lines. Their morale is dwindling. They shouldn't have messed with you. And despite it all, you forgot to save. It seems hubris got the best of you. Quite a roller coaster of events. Obviously, you're upset. You're back at the main menu, given the option to try again, or you just throw your controller out the window. It's apparent from the start of a boss fight to the end of the map, you just gotta stay on your toes and press the attack. Adding fuel to the fire, officers are able to replenish health almost immediately by recharging their stamina, so applying the pressure and staying on your target despite the directional lock was certainly a challenging task. Although I rather enjoy the thrill of a high-octane battle behind enemy lines in a rather compromising save position to try and save time, I'm pretty cool, I know. However, that's only and only because I'm able to save anywhere on the map. But it's a trade-off to how crazy the enemy AI can be. It's what makes the thrill of risking it all even possible to begin with. Saving gives you the ability to continue right where you left off. Definitely alleviates the frustration and pressure of defeat, whether it be pierced with an arrow while fleeing for health, falling victim to Gan Ning's lawnmower Muso, rushing Yi Ling to prevent the fire attack, nobody tell them. There's certainly some jank going on here, but I tend to like it. Overall, I believe Dynasty Warriors 3 still packs a punch for gamers looking for an obscure challenge on the PS2. Personally, I don't think Dynasty Warriors 3 or any of the Dynasty Warriors games on the PS2 are ever going to get some form of remaster or collection even, despite me never shutting up about it. Made a video explaining all that, so be sure to check it out after this if you haven't already. For newcomers that just picked up Origins and just figuring out what's happening with this IP for the last 20 years, well, buckle up. Each game is unique in its own way, and I appreciate certain things within them all, really. There's a lot of Warriors games to try, and it makes understanding Koei Tecmo as a company a lot more clear as to why they are building what they're building today with Origins and possibly what they have building in the future. But with that, I appreciate you guys checking out this video on Dynasty Warriors 3. I hope you learned, disliked, or appreciated something about it. Again, I appreciate your time watching this. I'll see you in the next one.